Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you, God. I want to be thankful. I'm hearing this childlike trash and these children that they utilize to participate in this, or at least they sound like children. I'm not sure if they're children. And they say things like, "Oh, I feel bad because apparently the things I'm gonna go through are gonna be horrible," which I do believe. I do know that for me as a target individual who exposed the reality of what this is about to people who are supposed to paint this fantasized reality and put that on in their faces every day, make them eat the reality of what they're part of and not let them escape. And because of that, it's been something that provoked them. I remember a time where they would like tell me, "Oh, this keep provoking us." And what they meant by provoking them is keep talking about what we do to women, keep talking about what we do to children, keep talking about what these entities have as the issue, because that is what is provoking us. So I know the torture is going to be bad. And for me now, what they're going to do is on top of how they torture people in the regular ways, in the ways, well, actually they call it regular, they have this already protocol of how they break people down and torture people. Torture psychologically and physically, damage them physically and psychologically. And you're going to hear that in what you're seeing here. But for me, not only they involve in a program that does these things that torture women and children in such a horrible way, but they were creating a psyop, which is something they've done to others. They created a fraudulent reality, a facade where they're supposed to make you believe that this is anything but this massive government that torture women and children for the purpose of developing of this weapon system. And so they utilize like perps that are even children. That's supposed to agitate you, make you believe this false reality. And so when I say I'm so thankful is because these children are not going to be growing up to be okay. Within this program, the life of a target individual is completely orchestrated and manipulated. Completely. Everything in your life is no longer happening to you organically. The program utilizes this weapon system and this technology that Robert Dawkins has mentioned, where your whole environment is completely controlled, but the technology also control you. This technology can literally connect your neural network to this device, and once you are connected to this device, your brain is completely managed, controlled. For example, what they were doing to me, so nasty. They have this tactic, psychological torture that's so disturbing, this pedophilia-centric. This is how bad it is, though, but because if they make it obvious that your brain is being manipulated, and they send very childish, like people, perps, to try to break you down. But it's obvious because what just happened, right? For example, there was an ad where there's like a little girl doing like flips, something like that, so playing on trampolines. It was so the way my brain is forced to have this reaction is so disturbing. So I was like, oh, disgusting. I always take screenshot of everything they do to me because one thing they do is once they manipulate you to have this a reaction, they try to gaslight you into thinking or into wanting you to identify with the manipulation. So they want you to think that what you just experienced is happening to you organically. They want you to start thinking, oh, it's me, right? Oh, I'm the one who just naturally experienced this reaction. And so you obviously don't identify with that. And as soon as you recognize it, obviously no, it's not you. It's like I'm being manipulated to have this sexual stimulation. You hear this person start talking about other things. Oh, this is gonna rape you. It's gonna be sad. It's gonna be this. Like, yes, it's gonna be sad. I'm gonna be in pain, and I'm not identifying with this nasty manipulation that forces me to have this nasty reaction toward children. Right? They have this like same tactics of trying to break you down into accepting this manipulation. Obviously, at this point, they know I'll never identify with this. They know that I will never think that it's me naturally seeing this child and having this reaction. So they're going to what's going to happen to me. Matter of fact, it's so manipulated, and then after that, they'll still stimulate me. But then I start watching something completely different, where there's women, and they will stimulate me and start making me think again about this the child I just saw. While I'm watching that, while I'm watching this woman, it came back in my brain naturally, I guess, and almost went into like a trance state while I'm watching something completely different. And they were supposed to make me think that this is just naturally happening, and they truly will gaslight you. It's like, oh, that's you. Will caught you again. They read your mind right now, as if it's now obviously clear that this is even more obvious. That why would I all of a sudden watch this woman and these children will come in my brain, and then get the stimulations while I'm watching this woman, right? So they clearly do this manipulation, and they have this purpose to have no shame of like how obvious things are looking like. That it's clear that why is this person thinking this way while he's watching this woman? And it's clear it's because my brain is controlled to be forced to have these thoughts. That is just not even it's not even done in a way that is just can be like, oh, this is just so organic. Now I'm thankful because it's purpose right now. Living life in this foulness. Now I'm not thankful because these people are living a hard life, a hardship life. No. The truth is what they're doing is easy. This childlike trash tell me how I'm gonna be screaming in pain. I'm gonna be in dying in this slow way. I was like, I do believe in all of that, but the thing that's magical about this is they don't know how they're gonna die. They don't know what pain they're gonna experience. They don't know what suffering they're gonna experience. They don't know nothing about what horror is gonna come their way. Nothing. And I know with the level of dedication in what they've been doing to me, is no way that they're gonna live a good life, especially when they start doing this thing at such a young age. And I've seen it, and I know it's gonna get that way. Now, I also want to be thankful because this program, these people doing these things to me, are connected to, is satanical. Because not only they do that to me, but they've done that to women and children. This program is led by the government. The reason why these horrible things happens to us as target individuals is because they're developing weapon system. A lot of these perps here are just nothings. I don't even hate them. That's how bad it is. You know when you know they're just nothings. You don't hate them. What I hate is the facade. It's the psyop. Is what they try to counter. You know, I should find it personal that these people are involved in what's killing me. But I don't even find it personal in that sense because they're nothings. This trash can kill themselves tomorrow. They are truly the nothings in this thing. Matter of fact, I even get why they enjoy doing this because in life they truly are nothing. There's a man talking to me, or let me just say, somebody of a male gender talking to me saying, oh, you're nothing. It's like, this guy is the most pathetic human being on earth. His job is to force people to have sexual stimulation to our children. He's a nothing, but that's his job. And he found enjoyment in this because the control of this technology is that it can make you experience whatever they want you to experience, and the desired reaction they want you to have are going to be pedophilia centric. A true nothing can live life, dedicating this life doing that. But what I hate is what they try to counter. What I hate is what they try to present themselves as. Listen, right now they tell me how they're going to frame me using children. Right? This is the life of these people, these nothings. They're going to frame me pretending that I raped a child. That is the life of these nothings. That's why I'm thankful that I could be one of these nothings. They tell me that they're going to frame me by pretending that I raped a child or implant child porn. These things I'm saying in somebody's life right now, that's their life. This man talking to me is talking to me about this. And via 32K, this technology can pipe their voice. You can pipe the voices. They can pipe their voices into my brain using this technology. This man is said it's fate that we're gonna frame you using these children and pretend that you raped them. It's fate that we're gonna implant child porn. Right? This is the kind of things they say. So you can only understand what kind of life this man is gonna live. Now I know he says these things because what he's involved in torture even children. Because what he's involved in torture a lot of women. So they have these ways of painting this reality, and I guess they want the target individual to go with that reality, which is obviously disturbing and retarded. But the truth, the reality is you are not alone in what's happening. With me, like I said, it's gonna be even extra. And they'd say that, matter of fact, this is what they say. It's gonna be worse. What they're saying that they're gonna torture me worse than the way they torture women and children. I'm not even joking. They say that with no shame. Admitting that they torture women and children, but with you, we're gonna torture you worse. It is the most disgusting things I ever heard. This is what I hate. That's when I can find personal hate. Because they think it's normal what they just said. It's like, yeah, we torture children and women, but we're gonna torture you in the worst way. We're torturing them not in the worst way, but we're torturing them. We're gonna torture you in the worst way. You understand? Somebody who ever says this kind of thing deserves death. That they have normalized torturing people, even children and women, to the point where, oh wait, with you we're gonna torture you worse. Like torture is the norm. Torture is the norm, and you're gonna just be tortured even more. It's normal to torture women and children, but with you we're gonna torture you worse. You understand? These people deserve death. Even me saying that, I just only imagine like what they deserve. That they've normalized torturing women and children to the point where we're gonna torture you worse. Like the base is torture. We're gonna surpass that base. And the base of torturing children and women is the norm. We're gonna go surpass that. It is disgusting low life to live the life that they live, but you gotta be strong. And so for me, they've been trying to vilify me and say, oh, we're gonna torture you. It's gonna be the worst. We're gonna torture you because of what you've done. What you see here is something I've brought up many times. But this comedian said something, and they want me to think about, oh yeah, yeah, you gonna pay for what you did. This trash that normally torture women in the normal way, torture target individual men, women, and children in sexual ways. They have these tactics of harming the private parts. If they're gonna torture me worse with the harming my private parts, it means that they torture men, women, and children normally by harming their private parts. Sexual torture is commonly used. This is the norm. It's the base. They sexually harm even children, very young children, as young as 3 years old. There's testimony of that. But they tell me they're gonna torture me worse than that. So God give me strength for the horror I'm gonna go through. But thank you that this is not something I had to live with, that I have to be involved with. And they find comfort in doing that because at the same time they're not one person or two doing it. It's a lot of them. The government is contracting a bunch of trash, and the government is behind this. Is the entity running this program? They just use these shits. They think they can live a normal life while being involved in that. Now, I was listening to this comedian. He's from India, and he was talking about how he's dark skin and this and that, and he said something about how like he was walking into somewhere in India. You're gonna hear him say himself, and the women will cover themselves up, and he got mad. He asked, "What are you doing that for? You think I'm a molester or something?" And they responded by, "Oh no, I thought you were gonna snatch my chain or something like that." and they immediately say, "Oh, molester," and they brought up what you're seeing there. Listen, when I was like 18 to 22, I used to go to the nightclub, and they bring up, "Oh, but when you were there, you grabbed the butt, you grabbed this and that." I'm like, listen, I'm not perfect. In my young adulthood, that we did do stupid things at a nightclub. I'm not trying to minimize anything I've done, but I will never let these people talk about these things in that fashion. First of all, when they talk about molesting, they wish I was like molesting children or things like that. Not people, not me going to a nightclub and grab a butt or whatever when I was 18 and 22, and with people around the same age. But still, I know that I was, this is me as 18, 22 year old, and whatever they are doing in nightclub, as not trying to minimize it, but I'm talking to people who use this technology to not only molest men, women, and even children, but burn, zap, do other things to the genitals. And they will try to make me feel guilty. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm a molester. No, we know who's your molesters. You are. Not only that, but these people torture, sexual torture is utilized. As they try to talk about me, 18, 22, going to a nightclub with people around the same age range. And you can see that. What you're seeing here is me and my friends, even mentioning, oh, the club we used to go, which I made a lot of videos about, was called Mission. You see him saying, "Hey, we went from Mission, which is the nightclub we used to go to Chicago," or something like that. And there was just like something on Facebook where we went back to old pictures. And you're gonna see in this video that this is the nightclub we used to go. 1822 is the age range people used to go there. That's the age we were used to go there. And honestly, the stupid things I did when I was 18, 22 there, grabbing what, I'm not proud of it, but this is what young adults to PDT can do. And of course, I'm not proud of it. But you know who's talking to you. What you're gonna hear about the sexual torture is what you heard many times. With me, the reason why you see a picture of this sitting two girls looking super intense and try to be like feminist or like, with me, there's been the psyop of these people who are supposed to avenge. Like they make me pay for what I did when I was at the nightclub. When you grab this butt, when you grab this. But the truth is, these women know what they're involved in. They're involved in a program that literally sexually torture children. But sexually torture women. A lot of them. A lot of defenseless women. A lot of defenseless women are in this program being burned. The vagina, their vagina is being burned. Sexual torture is super common in this, especially women. I put that in their faces every day. They eat the reality of what they part every day. When I see them in a train in that fashion, sitting, looking so intensely, trying to act like they're some kind of fierce, avenging, radical feminist, I look at them as this trash involved in a program that literally are burning vaginas of women. And I have the audacity to try to bring me at a nightclub when I'm 18, 22, grabbing a, with them saying it's normal to torture women and children, but we're going to torture you to the maximum for what you did in the nightclub at 1822, grabbing somebody. When these people are thinking this is normal to do what they do to women. And to negate that, what they say, oh, they tell me once they can frame me with a child, with child porn, which is another disgusting thing that I bring up again. With they have it's very pedophilia centric. These people that you see sitting there in this fierce way are very pedocentric, very fucking pedophilia centric. They normalize pedophilia like it's just nothing. They even try to make it cool. They said, "No, it's fate. It's fate that we're gonna frame you by implanting child porn, by implanting children getting raped." The mind is altered in such a disturbing ways, which is a protocol, a tactic that is obviously gonna work all the time with so many target individuals. A lot of target individuals say that pedophilia is used on them in this degrading way. Imagination, thought process, stimulations, all of that. And they have this trash which seems like they've just been groomed in this world where it's normalized on top of implanting child porn. But to see this trash wanting to be perceived as this Avengers and calling me you're the molester. No, trash. We know who's the molester. You work for them. You're involved in that, and you're part of that. And you molest these women and children using this weapon system. I'm not trying to minimize me being an 18-year-old or 22-year-old at the nightclub, but I'm talking to people who literally do these harmful things to the private part of even children. You've heard those testimonials. But this time, listen to these women again. Because what they do to women is so systematic and disturbing. And there's so much of it. It is overwhelming amount of testimonials specific to what they're doing to women. And I put that in their faces. And they try to play like they're feminists. Now it's time is up. It's our time. It's time. These people involved in the program that literally burn vaginas. I'd rather go through this horrible hell I'm gonna go through, and I'm asking God to give me strength because they're gonna create a theatric. They want to erase the reality. They think that they can torture me enough to the point where they're gonna forget what they're involved in. You know, it's funny when they say, "Oh, we're gonna forget about you." I don't care about this purpose for remembering me. I don't care what they're nothings. They truly are nothing to me. I do not connect with them. Like I do not even want them to think like I do not even hate them. That's how bad it is. I hate what they try to normalize. I hate what they try to present themselves as. That's what I hate. I hate that they can walk around like this, acting like there's some kind of Avengers when they're involved in a program that burn vaginas of women, torturing children sexually, do these horrible things. That's what I hate. That's what to think that that's normal to the point where like, oh, we're gonna torture you worse, meaning that we're gonna torture you worse than the way we torture these children or these women. It's gonna be our worse because their normal is torturing women this way that you're gonna hear. Or sometimes they're like, no, we're different. We just came in this program. No, this trash and so disgusting. They want to disassociate themselves from the the program that is doing that to me. It's like, no, we're different. They're not different. They're the same people, the same program involved in a program that does this to even children and women. What's happening to me is being done by a program that tortures women and children. Whoever participates in this program at this point, I participated in a program that is torturing women and children. And so for me, the theatric torture would be like, oh, we're gonna be castrated. It's like I will cut my own private parts. I swear to God, for all the suffering women and children, because I will never want somebody that involve themselves in something like this. That's this horror to women and children. And try to normalize it by saying, oh, we're gonna torture you worse than that. Ever escape? I want them to see me as like this man was so willing to die, not even die. He was standing on this so much so that he would even castrate himself because he knows the sufferings of children and women. Well, this trash bring up what I did in a nightclub at 1822. They involved in the program that does these things, utilizing childlike men and women, and actually children, to agitate me and to negate reality. These piece of shits that deserve death, but they're nothings. This death is going. What they going? what can come from what they do, it can come in magical way. They're so nothings. Matter of fact, some of the things they have to do is to negate who put me in this program. But watch them bring up me at the nightclub because of this man talk about molesting or molester, and talk about, and obviously he's talking about women. So if they try to bring up when I was at the nightclub and I'll grab it. Listen, I'm not proud of myself. I'm not perfect. I will never stand here and present myself as this perfect person. Never. When I was 18 or 22, going to this nightclub, the stupid things I did. But listen to these people try to vilify me. The audacity to vilify me when they're involved in the program that burn vaginas and even torture children sexually. It's crazy. And they think they should not be seen as somebody who should die for that. I'll never let them live the fantasy. They can manipulate my thought process this disgusting way toward children. Obviously, my brain is being hacked and manipulated to this fashion. They do that to others, this is validation. But forget about the manipulations, forget about the falsifications of my thought process, but the actual acts of what I did. The things I look back on to was like, oh, stupid. And them try to vilify me on that. I will never let them live that fantasized reality when they do these things to women and children. They can talk about how I'm going to be jumped. All the theatric torture is some of it is comical, not because it's not going to be painful. They tell me how I'm going to be. They're going to hit me with a bat, and the technology they use onto me, the level of concussion I have, and nobody has hit me yet. I feel the brain damage. And when I speak, you hear me struggling to speak. Nobody hit me. They're so theatrical and fraudulent that they even try to create this like theatrical torture. Tell me I'm going to be stabbed. I'm stabbed. They are cutting my internal organs. They are doing things to my internal organs that a knife cannot do. I have problem digesting even like a little bit of food. They tell me they're fusing my organs together. And then they bring out, oh, now they're going to, you understand the theatrics? So it's going to be a theatric torture, even though the torture is going to be horrible. And so I'm asking God to give me strength. And the theatric torture is for them to create a fantasized bubble that negates what they do to women and children. While try to vilify me about me, 1822, going to this nightclub. Then, of course, then it goes on to even other things that they made themselves make me experience. For example, seeing this child forcing me to get sexual stimulation. Actually, look at a woman, then bring back children, stimulate me while so that's just the manipulations. But me, my true actions, for example, me going to this nightclub that you'll see, grabbing, that is something I did when I was 18, 22. I'm never gonna act like I'm perfect. I did stupid things as a young adult. But I never traumatized anybody. I've never tormented anybody. I've never damaged anybody's life. I've never tortured anybody. That's what the things they're involved in. And it's only talking about men. We're talking about a lot of women, a lot of defenseless women. So I don't care if this trash feels bad about what they do. I don't care. This trash will get theirs. I think they feel bad that they couldn't do these things, living that fantasized reality where they are avenging for what I did when I was in a nightclub when they are burning vaginas with women. They're loseries of human beings. They even have to negate who put me in this program. There's a man called Roy Moore, which I always put in their faces. It provokes them because they have to say this name in this like timed. They mystify a man who allegedly was picking up kids as young as 14 years old when he was a 35-year-old man. This is their life. This is the life of this trash. And then have the audacity to look the way they look, try to act radical when you can't even say this name unless you say it in this fashion. Then say, ah, it's time. It's time to what? Stop burning vaginas, maybe? Electrocuting rectum of women? Maybe that's time for that. To stop doing that. To electrocute the genitals of women. Maybe it's time for that. To stop doing that. Target video, I will never let this low life live the fantasy. I will never stand here and act perfect. I've been immature in my life. And I've done immature things. But I will never let people who have involved themselves in something they know has tortured, damaged, destroyed the life of so many women, but because their gender is supposed to be something else. With me, they have this thing where it's their torture because we're women. The truth is, I will never be tortured unless I'm involved in a program that tortures children and women. And it doesn't matter if a woman is involved in this or men are involved in this. I know the government is running this program. And they have these psyops that's so disturbing for me. That's why people detest this fake woke time's up thing now. It's fraudulent. It's no longer people. It's no longer trusted. Can you imagine being involved in a program that literally burn vaginas and be like, "Now it's time for you," in a nightclub while you are burning vaginas, or involved in something that does that? You are very conscious of it, but the fact that these people negate that every day. Say, "Oh, it's not real that we torture women." While these women talk about what you're gonna hear. Target vigil, stay strong and be thankful. And pray for me because I'll need strength. But I'm so thankful to God that I didn't have to live life like them.
People lose like this over. One day I saw a girl do it and I just lost it. They start to truly hate me. Like, even when I'm silently walking on the road minding my own business, any woman coming in the opposite direction instinctively crosses to the other side of it. And nowadays, with all this news about violence against women, the moment women see me, they start covering themselves with their sari pallus like this over. One day I saw a girl do it and I just lost it. Hey, what are you doing? Do I look like a molester? She said, no, 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 no. I thought you were a chain snatcher.
What a tremendous effort by the viewer. What a tremendous effort by the viewer. What a tremendous effort by the viewer.
And so simulated orgasms and rape is extremely common, and especially violating for women. They complain about that torture breakdown the most.
Highly perverted, involving many combinations of sensory and motor manipulation of my mind and body and of the people around me. This includes many different types of zaps to varying degrees to the genitals, butt, anus, and the entire pelvic area. This also includes many kinds of movements, such as the rocking, swaying, jolting, vibrating, and shaking of my entire body or various body parts, specifically in a sexual way. The severe vibration is a highly noxious stimuli and is very intolerable. They sometimes do pulses or throbbing sensations on the genitals too, etc. There are also body movements such as rocking my pelvic area back and forth, repeated rubbing sensations, the sensation of something going up my crotch and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. These sexual assaults are present throughout the day, every day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly.
You feel that you've been injustice?
You mean as far as the Justice Department feeling me?
Well, in terms of your being a victim.
You mean what I'm feeling?
Yeah, explain a little bit to me how you perceive yourself as being.
Well, I have actual photographs of burns on my body. When I went to my doctor, the response was, "How do I know you didn't do that to yourself? How do you even address that?" I've passed 2 psychological evaluations, not 1 but 2. The one physician said, "You're mentally sound as a bell." He said, "I don't have any idea what's going on with you." When I go to sleep, when I go to try to sleep, I feel like I'm being lit up like a Christmas tree. I feel every cell in my body just bouncing out of my body. I can't even describe it. I get electric shock of my rectum. I get electric shock up my nose. I've woken up with burns on the end of my tongue. I've had burns on the palms of both of my hands. I vibrate. I can barely hold a piece of paper without quivering. Does that answer your question?
I'm trying to find what's the source of the...
The source are these exotic weapons. They talk about in 2976, but if you would pass it, it might give other communities the courage to do the same thing and show our Defense Department we are not the enemy. We are not to be attacked. We are not terrorists. Most of us are defenseless women.
Today I'm actually dealing with something that's like, it's different than the burning the private parts of my body. It feels like somebody is trying to literally like cut the inside of my body, of my vagina, and I'm bleeding, and it's like bright red blood, and it's extremely painful. And I've talked to 2 people about it today. I've kind of talked to a couple of other people about it a little bit. Flat tire. I was pulled over, and some friends were helping me put the smear on. While I was standing there, it felt like somebody put needles around the outside of my private area. It's like something sharp and poking me. I touched my skin and I don't feel anything there, but it changed. It's like the same thing that happened whenever I was hitchhiking in the desert and trying to flee the abuse, and I have scars in my body from that. My body's permanently changed. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna talk about it. It's today, Saturday, April 8th. Hey, I just woke up after a pretty rough night. The same thing happened last night as the night before, which was whenever I was trying to go to sleep, the private parts of my body began being burned again, and it felt like someone pushing out something inside of my body. So, yeah, that's what I am up against today. Right to watch and the proper paperwork, just walk right in and take over a hospital. And it seems that is a very real reality in a lot of capacities of the things that I've faced. So today just feeling some pretty general fear about my own safety, because the government's burning the private parts of my body. Sometimes it feels like a laser, or like pins and needles, like a tattoo. Sometimes it feels like a sunburn. Yesterday my breasts radically changed.
Basically, I just want to speak out and let everyone know a situation that's been ongoing for quite some time, since October of last year, that I've noticed. I am a targeted individual that is dealing with voice to skull. This is not another Myron May video. I'm not going to commit suicide. I want to speak out about being a targeted individual and what we can do to stop this sick crime that's going on in America today. That's a silent crime, and I feel like we need to step out. The more people that speak out about it, and the more people that have their voices heard, and the more people that don't give up and support each other, we're going to be able to be strong and make it through it. I've met some really amazing people that has helped me along in this struggle and this fight. As far as being a targeted individual, it's not easy. I've lost friends. I lost my job. I lost a relationship. I've lost a lot of things. I have the good days and the bad days. My phone is hacked. This is a crime. It's a silent crime. I had no idea what this was until last year. And I just feel like we need more people to speak out about it. I watched many YouTube videos. I met some really wonderful people that's in this. And I want to say that the support from everybody that's going through this has been just amazing. This has not been easy. I found that I cry a lot. At 35 years old, you do not come down with a mental illness. That's what they want you to think. They want to isolate you. They want you to think that you're mentally ill. They want you to be destitute. They want to target you. This is a psychological warfare, and we need to speak out about it. Every time you get knocked down, get back up.